Some people that never go anywhere, never read the paper, never get the paper, they only go on what someone tells them and not read it for themselves. And they don't understand. And the only thing they can think of, they're restricted about rights. So it doesn't matter whether you vote or not. So it's important for the people to understand your vote is your only voice. And if you don't get out and vote, you will never have a voice, and you won't understand. But they need to know they have a chance to vote for your rights at this time.
This is a question from the audience. I heard getting youth engaged in our city. What are some of the ways you would get our youth involved in our city?
From my perspective, I've always been a fan of educating our kids. Sports, is always good to get them engaged. But again, you have to reach the parents. You have to lead by example. And in some cases, we have parents that have not led by example. A lot of these young people are being raised by, a grandmother, and other members of their family. So there's a lot of young people in our community who have lost hope, and we don't have a lot of role models in our community. A lot of stuff is said, but now a lot of things are not followed through with what they see and what they hear. So what we've got to do as commissioners is, if we say we're going to do something, we have to follow through with it. And I think over the years, we just haven't had the money to have the recreational programs for our kids in our community. We look at the Bobo Brazil Center that closed. And I know Mr. Harris mentioned Saturday at the grand opening of the Brittany Pipestone Park that he is working to get that reopened sometime in the winter time frame, I believe. I'm not for sure, but he is working on getting the repairs done to that. So again, we just haven't had the dollars over the years for parks and recreation, but now that we're going to have a balanced budget and spending our money more wisely, we'll be able to create, the recreation programs and hire a recreation person. And right now we have Pt.5, and Debbie's doing a great job, but Debbie needs more resources in order to do her job.
This audience here said, I heard getting youth engaged in our city. What are some of the ways you would get our youth involved in our city?
Well, I would try and encourage the commissioner or whoever. Today, our young people have to go to the world, the roller world, the lecture. And it would be so nice if we had our own world in Benton Harbor. I also see the park in St. Joe have the thing that they do with a skateboard. And that would be nice to be in Benton Harbor. Some of the things that our young people do is because they don't know what to do. They get into mystery because they bored. And when I was young, we didn't have time to be bored. But today, they say they're bored. So if there was something for them to do, I think it would keep their minds idle.
Are you interested in seeing felons become employed because they make up a large amount of our citizens? Are you interested in seeing felons become employed because they make up a large amount of citizens?
Well, from my perspective, people make mistakes. People make mistakes. They've served their time. They've come out. They've become rehabilitated, and they've gotten back into the workforce and doing a great job. So I think that they need to be given an opportunity to improve themselves once they get out, and become gainfully employed. Learn some skills and trades and contribute back to society. We just can't, just throw them away. you know, they deserve an opportunity.
And I agree that we need to allow them an opportunity.
This audience member asks, Whirlpool just closed its Canadian call center and laid off over 500 workers in the Benton Harbor St. Joseph area. Will you continue to vote yes for tax abatements when citizens are continuously losing jobs?
That's a tough one. You know, I think what we have to look at is the big picture as it relates to tax breaks. You know, tax breaks, either they can hurt you or they can help you. We have to sit down and do a cost benefit analysis, you know, based on what we're giving up versus what we're getting. And, you know, you can always sit down, you know, with the powers that be and try to negotiate. And I know some cases when you sit down with companies, they're able to save jobs when you sit down and negotiate, and you're not giving away the farm, so to speak. So, you know, again, forget what you negotiate. We just have to sit down and work with the people, you know, try to come up with a reasonable solution for both. But again, you need to do a cost benefit analysis to see what you're going to get and what you're going to get. Because every situation is different.
I think we have to look at the circumstances.
Yes.
What is being done for our veterans in our community? I have noticed different communities that either have an initiative and or an incentive placed for their veterans. There are two parts to this, so should I, you want to just answer just this part? What is being done for our veterans in our community? I have noticed different communities that either have an initiative and or an incentive placed for their veterans. What do you
I'm not for sure off the top of my head if there's a local organization. I know there's one in Kalamazoo. I'm not for sure if there's one in Benton Harbor, but I think it's something that, you know, if there's not one here locally, it needs to be addressed, and it's something that is needed because, you know, we've got veterans that have fought for this country, and you know, they need to be respected, and we need to make sure that we take care of them.
Well, I feel like our veterans is very important, and we should let them know that in some way, like you said right now, I don't know off the top of my head what we do. I want to let them know that we appreciate them.
Thank you. There are other questions, but they're different, so I'll just, you know, they're not connected to that. Okay, so I'll do that as well.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Can each of the candidates elaborate on what they personally know about the politics and community involvement of Gary Guild, besides the fact that he's a Michigan State trooper? Can each of the candidates elaborate on what they personally know about the politics and community involvement of Gary Guild, besides the fact that he's a Michigan State trooper?
Well, I don't know him, other than I've met him on a couple of occasions. You know, he owns a home on Pipestone that he's been working on for quite some time, and he's a state trooper. That's
This question from the audience. Are they going to change the name of Benton Harbor to Harbor Shores? And if yes, why?
that is news to me. No, Benton Harbor will remain Benton Harbor. There's no need to change the Harbor Shores. You know, it's the city of Benton Harbor. So,
I was hoping I have no desire to change it. I was ready to do this.
This audience member asks, do you support the discontinuing of DHS checks to citizens who have been on assistance for over 4 years?
wow. I know that there are people that need assistance, that may have been laid off for a period of time. And from my perspective, it is a form of assistance to hold you over until you can find a job, you can better your situation. But on the flip side, you know, we had people who have abused the system and have taken advantage of the system. So, you know, again, it depends on the situation, depends on the people who need it versus those that have been on it for a long, long time and have not gone out to get the skills they need to become gainfully employed and to get off of it.
I feel like there are a lot of people that's on it and they don't have the skills because we've been running it so long. So I think we are going to wait close to the time and the circumstances.
Audience question I have, it says, if you were aware of the financial distress of the city, why you did not push for a reform before the EFM action?
Well, we did try to work with the commission. You know, once the Plant Moran forensic audit was complete, we had anywhere, I think, 6 to 8 months to come up with our plan to address it. And unfortunately, the city did come up with a plan. And the plan that was brought up by one of the former city managers was not acceptable to the state of Michigan Treasury Department. Something that wasn't acceptable. So we did try to address the issue, but unfortunately, the city commission didn't take the proper action to address it, to come up with a deficit elimination plan that was feasible, and which led to the state doing their own review. And once they came in, because they thought they would come in for like maybe a week, and they were here for 3 weeks. Because as they started uncovering, going back to the layers of the finances in the city finance department, they continued to find more and more issues and financial irregularities that were very obvious, that really bordered on some things that could have gotten some people in trouble, but that's no good.
Thank you. Do you have any comment about that? Because this was addressed to Commissioner Joseph. And then there happened to be
I have another question says to Commissioner Joseph. You was on the commission the last 4 years. Now you say you can make a difference. What happened the last 4 years? And what have you done to help the city the last 4 years?
Well, I can tell you this, as a commissioner, you know, along with Commissioner Hightower, we fought to try to fix this financial problem. We had nothing but opposition from the mayor and the other 6 commissioners. And it wasn't easy. I'm telling you folks, it was not easy going to commission meetings and not getting anything accomplished. I'm a person who's all about, you know, goals, results, and making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing as commissioners, because you all elected us to represent you. But when you got a commission that's in denial about the finances of this city, that's been going on for decades. And I don't want to remind you, but I'm going to remind you, this water plant issue is a big problem.